Now, we move to our next session. This is the second session of the third. In a World Bank report published this year, large labor-absorbing sectors such as the construction industry showed a relatively rapid recovery despite the initial blow of the pandemic, thereby leading to the employment recovery of the economy. We talk about construction and how COVID-resilient sector is helping in rebuilding communities. Of course, let us all welcome our esteemed panelists from this very sector. Let's all welcome Mr. Jose Chan or Jose Marie Chan of Career Builder, Mr. Ray Makayan of Datem, Mr. Noel Austria of Integrated Contractor and Plumbing Works, Mr. Jamisho Dowaten of TESDA Benguet, Mr. Ronald Santa Ana of TESDA Pangasinan, and of course, our moderator for this is none other than Mr. Bal Kamwa, who is also our Deputy Chief of Party and PBET's Deputy Executive Director for Programs. Let us welcome our second round of panelists.
Hello. Yes, good morning everyone. Good afternoon. Pero on this side of the world, it's always a very good morning, right? So, nairaos ko yun, di ba? Nagkamali talaga ako. Good afternoon everyone. And to our esteemed panelists, most of you, we've been working for quite some time. Let me just say, just to start, that what is really good with working in the construction sector is the training opportunities never runs out. No, when we started YouthWorks back in 2018, one of the sector na nakapagbigay talaga sa amin ng madaming training slots or OJT slots is really from the construction sector. We've worked with the biggest conglomerates in the construction sector, starting with, of course, Datem, DMCI, EEI, and now we have evolved our partnership in the construction sector to involve, of course, career builders, and of course, our esteemed partners from TESDA. So again, let me just, I want the panel to be more conversational, so I would like to address my panelists on their nicknames. Is that okay, sir? Sir, is that okay? So, si Sir JC Chan, actually naunahan ako, no? Naunahan ako ng joke ng ating MC, no? I wanted to ask Mr. Chan if may Marie nga talaga, no? Jose Marie Chan. Baka pwede niya tayong kantahan right after, pero para sabi ni Sir, pass daw muna. Mag-share daw siya more on career builders. Ano yung ginagawa ng career builders and how, how did it help our youth trainees? No? We also have Sir Maki from Datem. And then, of course, our friends and partners, no? Long-time partners of YouthWorks and USAID, TESDA, of course, from TESDA Pangasinan, and Sir Jimmy. Sir, can I call you Sir Jimmy? Jimay. Sir Jimay from TESDA Benguet. And of course, we have Sir Randy. Sir Randy Fabian of ICPWI, also one of our partners. So let me start with a question to all our panelists. No? With construction being one of the biggest drivers of the Philippine economy, and we are talking of pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic pa lang, construction has been one of the biggest drivers of the Philippine economy with the previous administration's program on build, 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 right? So, and then came the pandemic. It threw and true enough into the anecdote, it threw a wrench into our well-oiled system in terms of, let's say, construction. That's what I've said, being the biggest driver of the Philippine economy. How did the pandemic, walk us through, no? But very quickly, how did the pandemic affected the construction sector? So I'd like to ask first our partners from the let's say, from the demand side, no? Yung mga ang ating mga biggest partners in the construction sector, particularly yung nasa business talaga of contracting, building, so on and so forth. So I'll ask first, Sir Maki, paano naapektuhan ng pandemya yung inyong kumpanya, yung Datem?
In terms of pandemic, the world was not ready for such event, especially yung construction. Dahil dun sa event na yon, drastic measures must be done. Although there are plans na tinatawag nating 6 long plans nung mga panahon na yon, and construction was everywhere nung mga pre-pandemic period. But when pandemic hits, it become like a pause button. Everything stops and slows down. And construction itself is a people business. So people is necessary. So without the restriction, with the restriction of the movement of people, so goes the business. There are immediate actions already in place, remedies to elevate the situation on site. Not only on sites, but also in company premises, and especially on the workers' level, where the one who is producing the product or the building are the workers. With this sudden slowdown, people are amiss. What should I do? So with that, but still, believe it or not, life cannot stop there.
Even construction.
Yes, even with the stop operations, some of the construction companies would stay in workers. Instead of wasting time, they trained internally. Because, lagi kong sinasabi, construction is a people business. It is heavily relied to the knowledge, skills, and attitude of the people. It may the construction stop, but still the development is continued. How is it now? It is slowly opening. Compared to the pre-pandemic period, not yet, but going there. Okay. So we can say from 100% capacity or productivity from the pre-pandemic period, it slashed down up to a drastic up to 20 to 30% capacity. But right now, I could say it's around 50 to 60% going there to the stage where the pre-pandemic season.
Sige. Thank you, Sir Maki. Sir Randy, anything to add? Just in terms of you being, of course, in the business of contracting, construction, how did the pandemic affected your company and how it is, kamusta na po kayo ngayon?
So nung time ng pandemic, no, so 3 months na walang trabaho nun eh. So ang affected talaga yung workers natin. So after 3 months, after na ma-settle na yung mga permits, yung mga challenges nun sa mga workers natin, yung naka-stay in sila, yung nahirapan sila, tulad niya sinabi kanina ng ano natin, ng sa kabataan kanina, yung na-homesick sila. So yun yung mga challenges sa kanila nung time ng pandemic. So ngayon naman, karamihan din ng workers namin that time, hindi na rin nakakabalik. Hindi umuwi muna ng province. Then, paunti-unti bumabalik. So yun yung nagiging, ano ngayon, yung paunti-unti nakakabalik na sa construction yung industry.
Okay. I do remember that during the period of the pandemic, and of course I do agree that the pandemic really caught us off guard. But then the construction, our training, our partnership and training in construction never stopped as well. So we did adopt. And what we did there was because the construction sector needed more and more workers, even during the pandemic. The workers are actually housed in-house in the project site, and then additional measures to comply with government directives like testing, COVID testing, additional protective equipment, PPEs, so on and so forth. But thank you so much for your responses from our partners on the demand side. I'd like to go now to the supply side. So by supply side, we mean here the training institutions, the schools. No? So let's start with, of course, Sir Ron from TESDA. Sir Ron, how did the pandemic affected the intake naman? Now we're talking about the intake of trainees for construction courses.
Alam mo, first and foremost, really, the pandemic has tremendously affected our training institutions, no? Because some of them even closed, some of them has no enrollees dahil na rin sa mga restrictions natin, no? So, but you know, we have to go on. It cannot stop there because alam naman natin na kahit na ganun yung sitwasyon natin, may mga workers na nangangailangan ng skills training. So we have to find ways on how to deliver that. So nandyan yung sinasabi naming blended, ganon, or flexible. But yung flexible learning or blended natin, it cannot be delivered 100% sa ating mga training institutions because as you very well know, skills training provider tayo. Ang carpentry ba po pwede mong i-blended yan? Of course not. So what we did is, we have to limit the participants or the enrollees. For example, we used to admit 20. It has to be limited to 10 para ma-accommodate mo at ma-train mo talaga at ma-acquire pa rin yung kinakailangang skills training. So no, ganun ang mga innovations o ganun ang ginawa ng ating gobyerno. Kasi yung ating institution, unlike sa DepEd and CHED, iba kasi tayo dahil tayo ay skills training. Yung DepEd and CHED, you can deliver their education through blended, flexible. Yung sa atin is entirely different. It cannot be.
Okay.
Kasi 70% of that is more on skills training. Kaya kailangan natin gumawa ng ways ng ganun. So that's how really it affected yung mga TBIs natin at saka yung supply natin. We used to admit only 10 o siyempre nabawasan, no? Pero gradually naman bumabalik yon at hanggang sa ito nga na-overcome na natin and then unti-unti na nagbabalik tayo sa normal. Actually, yan ang napakalaking naging challenge. Hindi lang sa mga partner TBIs natin, but you know, kahit sa atin din sa gobyerno. Because wala naman kaming magawa, but to follow our health protocols. Because while delivering the training at the same time, we also have to manage the safety, no, and health especially of our trainees. Dahil ayaw naman natin, sir, we do not want them na nakapag-acquire nga ng training, na-certify natin, nagkasakit naman, di useless din naman. So, yun ang pinaka-importanting consideration din natin ng pandemic na yun, no? Both yung private training providers natin at tayo sa gobyerno, nagtulong-tulong at in-implement natin, hindi tayo nag-stop. We continued para naman iniisip din natin na our economy has, has to work. Hindi po pwedeng maging ganun na lamang. We have to move on. Kailangan nating, we have to fight and, keep moving hanggang sa makalampas tayo sa ganun.
Yeah. Sir Jimay, just in terms of with the adjustments on the training, no, during pandemic and now the pivots that you have to make also post-pandemic, just in terms of training delivery for construction, what innovations na ang na nagawa ng TESDA Benguet and even as TESDA as an organization, just in terms of construction courses that TESDA is offering?
Well, for TESDA Benguet, we continue to partner with various institutions that are also engaged in construction business. And that is why, like for our partnership with Sir JC, I used to be the provincial director of TESDA Pangasinan. But when I left Pangasinan, I continued partnering with JC. And with all our partners, like we have various businesses, no, or industries that are in CAR, that are in Baguio, they partner with us. And they provide modules, no? So then that these modules have the requirements of the, contain the requirements of these industries. And so we focus on those. So we will not limit the training programs with our training regulations, but also with the training programs that are required by these industries. And so we did not stop doing things in preparing for our would-be construction workers.
Okay.
And also, we partnered with local government units. So with so many projects that these local government units are doing, they need workers. So the pandemic would not stop TESDA in preparing this. And that is why, even with these strict protocols, we really have to, we have to have giving and taking. Though these are the restrictions, they also have to provide means and ways so then our people, those trainees, would be able to have the trainings conducted not just in the training centers, but also on site. So these are more creative means of not allowing the pandemic stop TESDA, no? Providing these relevant and quality training programs with the partnership with various institutions, with the local government units, with industries. All the more we are able to provide means and ways, creative ways on how to continue producing quality and very resilient workers in the construction business.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. For our next question, I'd like to specifically ask this to Sir JC of Career Builder, no? And being, of course, also be in the middle of, let's say, the demand and the supply side, of course. Sir, looking at the construction sector right now and the current landscape of the construction sector, how do you see the construction sector changing, of course, with the high demands also, just in terms of the entire conduct of the business? Or how do you see the construction sector evolving or changing? And where do you situate, sir, the role of career builders in that change?
I think there is a big misconception about construction, no? And that's what we are trying to change. Construction is one of the highest paid job in the country. And a lot of the people don't realize that. No, a lot of the people, especially the youth, are avoiding construction because they thought it's dirty, it's hard work. But actually, it's a good stepping stone. No, that's why during the pandemic, I don't know if I will say we are grateful that the pandemic came because we're able to take that as opportunity to change the mindset, of the people. We took the pandemic as an opportunity to change the mind of these people. In fact, during the lockdown, a lot of our trainees, where we picked them up from town to town. Could you imagine, as you go miles from miles, there will be a lockdown, no, a checkpoint, and we strategize. We became creative on how to pick these people and convince them, and a lot of them are first time to do construction training, but it's an opportunity for them to say, hey, this is the only thing, options I have for me to live, for me to make a living. Because construction during pandemic didn't stop. And then, proper training, proper mindset, it's an eye-opener that, oh, construction is a good job. It's actually a good stepping stone. It's a good opportunity. You start as a carpentry, but you don't live as a carpenter forever. You can step up to become a lead man, a poor man, and it's a very good opportunity to make a lot of money. So on the training part, we teach them how to work with financial literacy, saving money and then moving forward, dreaming big, and making that savings to do something else while working. Keeping, like, for example, entrepreneurship. We teach them how to start with a business while working, continuing, growing with that work. you know. And then, so, I mean, it became an opportunity to change, the perception. And now I think a lot of the youth are going to that route, that one of the best job, not, a job to be ashamed of is construction. So yeah, I mean, on our part, it's really very important that it's not just giving them a job or an opportunity to get a job, no, but it's an eye opener. How to start. We always start with 3 questions. This is an enlightenment for them. The question of where I am now, where I am going, and how to go there. And those are very, very important questions. So I think, as a training center, we have a very, very important role. No, not just giving them the right skills, but, the holistic approach, that we are trying. Like, I was very emotional a while ago listening with, our 2 trainees. Yeah, I can't believe, when they started with us, they're very shy, they're how you call this, very reserved. But actually, I was speechless there, and I didn't notice my tears start to calm down because they become very confident. Their perspective changed totally. It's amazing, really do. So it proved that the approach, the training strategies, the way how we handle, the way how we deliver, is very effective. And this is exactly what we are trying to share. I mean, I think other training providers can learn with our best practices, and we should see on, how to help these people, not just on one side, but, holistically. Thank you.
I think I would take my key takeaway there was construction is one of like the highest paying jobs. Yung sinabi ni Sir, no? And it got me rethinking my career. My boss is here. Oh no, my boss is not here. So it got me rethinking my career, and perhaps I do a shift. I might do good in construction. Okay, enough of the jokes. Let's proceed to and actually, Sir JC's response was actually a prelude to our next question, which, of course, we all know that there is that always a stigma attached to construction. Right? There's the 3Ds. No? Some even make it a 4Ds. The 3Ds of construction. Construction is dirty, it's demanding, it's a dangerous job. But then, how did you, as the prime movers in the construction sector, how did you influence or encourage the youth or the young workforce to make the jump and decide on their careers? They want to build a career on the construction on the construction sector. Particularly, I'd like to ask first, Sir Randy, how with your company, how would you encourage the youth to build a career in the construction sector?
For our, sa amin kasi, more on plumbing works and fire protection. So we provided them yung mga trainings din. So after nilang, actually, nakakuha kami ng 40 plumbers from Sir JC, from Pangasinan. So we distributed them to 3 projects actually, sa Soler, Aston, and sa Park Central sa Makati. So yung encouragement namin, para ituloy lang nila yung mga natutunan nila. Then to be more productive. Kasi meron din kaming training na sarili. So yun yung lagi naming discussion namin sa kanila na to be more active sa mga sa mga natutunan nila sa training.
Thank you, sir. How about Sir Maki? How would you encourage the youth, particularly yung ating mga young workers to build a career with construction and of course join DATEM?
For me, the stigma of 3Ds is real there, no? But how to change the paradigm? We instill a new mindset with our students and workers. That the first D is actually means developing skills. In construction, not only you develop your skills, your technical skills, but also your professional and personal skills for you to prepare and propel you in life. Tulad ng sample kanina, natuto silang magluto, natuto silang maging leader, and this opportunity can happen in the construction site. We want to change the first D into a developing skills. The second stigma of construction na demanding, we want to change the paradigm to the word dynamic. In a sense that in construction, there is a career movement, there are growth, tulad na sinabi ni Jose Marichan, yeah. Sir JC, that you will never be forever carpenters, forever in your dead-end positions. With the opening of new pathways and careers, being a dynamic world, it open up you to a lot of opportunity. And lastly, we want to change the paradigm of dangerous to something that construction is a dignified job. Let me reinforce yung high-paying job. It is a perspective of high-paying job of a matter of subjective perspective. But rather, this dignified job allowed them to change their lives. The one na patulog-tulog, kain-kain, now they are providing to their families. So, that encouraging to take up youth in construction is simply, I want to say, here in construction, we will develop you. It will be a dynamic world for you. And especially, it is a dignified job.
Thank you, sir. How about from our partners from TESDA? No? Particularly, you offer a range of training courses which is related, or of course, that directly service the construction sector. Now, how do you encourage the youth to take up courses, TESDA courses that are construction related? Sir Jimay, I'll ask you first.
Yeah, the stigma is really attached, no? Pag sinabi mong, ano ba ang, pag tinanong mo mga youth ngayon, ano bang gusto nating trabaho? And very few of them would really say, well, I would like to go into construction. Because the stigma is there. Well, as our partner with DATEM have said, we have to really change the thinking that the 3Ds, the dirty, the demanding and dangerous, should really be changed into the next dynamic D na sinasabi niya. So while we really are encouraging our youth, no, to engage into such a very lucrative, sabihin natin, we really have to really show proof, no, that construction is really worth journeying. And so we provide real support services, programs that really are enticing for this. Like we have to train them in this particular course, and then they should be ending up with a job. Kasi pag trainin mo lang sila, what happens next? And they will never say, oh, construction is a good thing. It's a good journey. It's a good work. But for us, if we offer this as a training program, and then we support them, like finding the right industry, finding the right business, construction business or firm, where we can connect them immediately And that is one, I think, that we have done that is very effective in encouraging our youth today to engage into such.
Okay.
And also, we connect. It's good today that TESDA has removed yung isang barrier na policy namin na kung saan ang mga training centers could not engage into yung ano sa abroad, no? So ngayon, pwede na yung mga training centers natin or yung mga recruiting agencies ay pwede na rin na mag-conduct ng training programs. Kasi sila mismo yung nakakaalam doon sa ano ba yung required sets of skills ng kanilang sisendan ng mga graduates natin. So that really opened the door for our youth to really say, dito ako sa construction. Kasi yung training center na yun, kaagad nakapagpadala ng workers abroad. And so dito din, sa lokal, ganun din. So I think these are also creative ways that TESDA has really changed its policy that opened, that ushered in mga youth natin to, change yung mindset nila na ang construction ay mahirap at dirty at dangerous at walang pera. Parang ganon. So ngayon, madali na dahil merong policy na nakakatulong at nakakabawi yung mga youth natin sa panahon na ngayon.
Thank you, sir. Sir Ron, I'd like to ask just in terms of TESDA, because you are also very heavy on community level training, no? So it's not only focused on the training center or in the school, but you also bring the training closer to where the youth are through community-based training. Sir, can you explain or expound more to us ano yung ginagawa? What is TESDA doing just in terms of reaching the youth through community level trainings?
In TESDA, we have this tagline o yung banner namin, TESDA abot lahat. There are instances na kung minsan, yung sinasabi ni Sir Moderator kanina, the institution-based training, sometimes there are trainees na who cannot go to the training institution itself o mag-attend ng training every day. So anong solution natin dyan? Kami sa TESDA, aabutin na lang namin. So we do community-based training in cooperation, of course, with our local government units, the provincial government peso, the municipality peso. So, aabutin namin lahat. We will be the ones to bring the training closer to the community para kung nandun na yung mga taong gustong mag-training ng halimbawa sabi ni Kapitan o according to the barangay captain, we have men here who would like to work, but unfortunately, they cannot afford to go to your training institution because they do not have, transportation, so or they would like to undergo welding because they learned that welding is in demand. So kami naman sa TESDA, we go to the community and, bring the welding equipment there and then conduct the training. So ganun ang gagawin. And these are all free of charge and there's no even single centavo expenses on the part of the trainees. So pupunta kami talaga lahat doon. Sometimes kami pa yung magpo-provide ng food. Kung mabait si mayor o mabait ibibigay niya. Natutuwa. I mean, sa lahat naman actually, natutuwa yung ating mga LGUs whenever we do things like this. At saka isa pa, na-realize din na kasi nila na dahil yung mga industry natin, kailangan na nila ng NCs because we mandated them and we required them na bago magtrabaho yan, dapat certified yan. Hahabulin talaga nilang mag-training.
Okay.
So talagang sila napupunta. O kung talagang hindi nila kaya yun, basta kami sasabihin na you group yourselves into 25 o kung mayroon mga 50 o ikakandak namin ang training, kami na ang bahala. Wala kayong magiging problema doon. So that's the way we do community-based training.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I think what our partners here has been explaining for this panel is also a testament of how a good partnership or linkage with the government, local government units, government agencies like TESDA, industries like, of course, DATEM, ICPWI, career builders, and of course the academe, no? GIA, the government, industry, and academe model, which we also in PBED is advocating for. I think to close the panel, and very quickly, I will start with Sir JC here because true to the name, they build careers, no? As career builders. Sir, just in terms of looking at and your message into the youth and true to our theme of BIDA Hired One, no? Sir, your message to the youth who wants to build a career in the construction sector, paano? How can they become the BIDA Hired One for the construction sector?
Oh, that's very easy. And it's been very visible a while ago with the two panelists, no, our graduates. Number one, we have to make them realize, no, na ang pagbabago, it start to ourselves. Ang pagbabago nagsisimula sa sarili. And then we have to change the mindset na ang kahirapan hindi estado ng buhay yan. Ang kahirapan ay pag-uugali. Kaya mahirap ka dahil may ugali kang mahirap. Ano ba yung mga ugaling mahirap? Ugaling tamad, di ba? Tambay, and all those hindi magandang ugali. So, palagi naming nire-reiterate sa mga trainee namin na, you know, changing this mindset is very, very important. No? And then, giving them a very simple principle. And that is the principle of good. You know, to be good, there are only 5 aspects. No? The power of good, it means you believe that there is a God that is good. Number 2, you believe that you are good. Number 3, you believe that you create good. And number 4, you believe that you pray good. And number 5, you believe that you always practice good. You know, and that's it. Kasi like instance at work, you know, if you're just there, you know, snappy, you know, pa-easy-easy ka lang, because of that principle, it reminds you, oh, I should do good because I create good. You know? In the construction industry, there is what we call, my term, silang kuyakoy. Kuyakoy meaning they're taking their time, they're stealing their time doing, you know, nothing, not helping with the productivity. Because of that principle, it reminds you that, you know, you should not do that because you are a good person. You create good. You know, so my message to the youth is, you know, when you want to be the hard one, is start from yourself. Diba? That's why when we do the training with the program, with the youth work, we don't train you to become a carpenter. We don't train you to become a plumber, you know. Our training is basically for prosperity. You are here to change. You are here to prosper. And acquiring that skills is just, you know, a tool, a stepping stone towards a total change. So be the hard one.
Thank you, sir. Round of applause to Sir JC. Sir Maki of DATEM, kapag nagtrabaho kami sa DATEM, paano kami magiging BIDA Hired One?
Sige, I will be quick on my message. First, I want the first D, dream to change your life. We need to have a desire to change our lives. Kung hindi, tayo paikot-ikot lamang sa mundong ito. Then the second D I want for you is let us make the decision to change our lives. Simulan natin. Alam ko mahirap to. Baguhin ang inyong mga buhay. May maiiwan, may magbabago. Pero simulan natin. And the last D I want to say is we need the dedication to change our lives. Kasi there will be challenges. Hindi madali ang harapin. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala dahil those challenges will shape you into the worker or into the professional you will be in the future. So dream, decide, and be dedicated to your career.
Thank you, sir. Akala ko nasa starstruck tayo. Dream, believe, survive. Pero that, sir, thank you. Very, very good message. Round of applause for Sir Maki, everyone. Sir Ronald, kapag nag-training kami sa TESDA Pangasinan ng construction course, paano kami maging Bida Hired One?
Alam mo, para ka maging BidaHiredOne, isa lamang ang dapat gagawin mo. You equip yourself with the necessary skills and competence para prepared ka in the world of work. Yung mga naging trainees natin doon, o kaya naging maayos ang kanilang training, nakapagtrabaho, dahil hindi lamang tinaglay nila sa TESDA yung tinatawag natin KSA, knowledge, skills, and aptitude, kundi tinaglay din nila habang nasa training yung STD. O, hindi yung sakit ha. Sipag, tiyaga, at diskarte. O, so, yun lamang ang kailangan. Tapos, yun naman, message ko naman doon sa mga employers natin, lagi nilang sinasabi, ang dami, kagaya namin sa Pangasinan, we are the third biggest province sa buong Pilipinas. Ang dami naming mga trainees na nasa construction, ha? Welding, carpentry, heavy equipment, and so on and so forth. Ang dami niyan na nag-graduate namin. Tapos malalaman mo, ang dami din namang nangangailangan ng trabaho sa mga area na. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, asan ba yung mga pinag-graduate natin? Bakit na hindi makaano? Baka naman kasi, what I'm saying is, baka naman kasi hindi yung skills mismatch na lagi nating sinasabi ang problema. Baka naman yung requirements din ng mga employer ang problema. Baka naman sobrang taas din ng mga requirements ninyo na hindi rin naman kayang abot. Sana tignan din natin para mag-match naman at ma-accommodate natin yung mga skills, yung mga tinrain natin na mga kababayan natin. So, ganun lang. Thank you po.
Thank you. Round of applause for Sir Ron from TESDA Pangasinan. We'll go up the mountains. We will go to TESDA Benguet, no? Akyat tayo ng Benguet. Sir, paano pag nag-train kami sa TESDA Benguet on construction courses, paano kami maging Bida Hired One?
To be the hired one sa construction business ay kailangan ng ating mga kabataan to really recognize yung talents nila. Kasi with that, ang daming opportunities that awaits them. Sa construction, ang dami varied works and everything. And so, hindi sila mahirapang maghanap ng trabaho. All that they have to do is avail yung ating investment. Ang gobyerno nag-i-invest so much through TESDA. Free training, just imagine. Scholar ng bayan ang ating mga kabataan when they engage or avail yung mga programa natin. So, sa ating mga kabataan, marami po tayong oportunidad sa construction. Marami pong perang gobyerno na ginagamit dito para matrain sila. All that they have to do is to come to our training centers, train very well, and equip themselves with the skills. Kasi meron na silang talento, i-recognize lang yun and they will use that and end up with a job. So marami tayong mga partners na pwede namin silang pagdalhan at doon sila magkaroon ng magandang trabaho kagaya ho ng mga graduates natin naging panelist kanina. Maraming pong salamat.
Okay. Round of applause to Sir Jimay of TESDA Benguet. And last but not the least, of course, our partner from ICPWI. Sir, when we get hired by ICPWI, paano kami maging Bida Hired One?
To be the hired one, dapat meron tayong self-discipline. Self-discipline, then during training, meron tayong consistency sa skills natin. Dapat ma-perfect natin yung mga skills na natutunan natin. Then, believe in yourself na kaya mo yung trabaho, lalo lang sa construction industry.
Thank you, sir. Round of applause to our partner from ICPWI. And that concludes our second panel for the construction sector. Again, please join me in thanking our partners. Cheers to more years of partnership. And together with USAID, with YouthWorks, we will continue to equip young people to build the country. Maraming salamat po.
As they take their photos, we will now welcome the floor if you have comments or questions. So on my count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Be the hired one. Okay. Questions? Siguro ako ang takeaway ko from the discussion, which is very, very enriching, is that kanina nabanggit nila merong 3 dirty Ds. Pero syempre, I'd like to make my own 3 clean Ds, which is the dream, di ba? Importante to dream, katulad ng sinabi nila, is to do it, and of course, the dedication and the discipline to move forward. Yan. Sige po, kung wala po tayong questions from the audience, we'd like to acknowledge, of course, the live audience in our Facebook page. Nagpadala po ng question si Jan Jan. Ang question po niya is that, do you think that there might be a surplus of construction workers once big projects like the North-South Commuter Railway project finishes? Ulitin ko po ang tanong, galing po kay Jan Jan sa ating online audience. Ang tanong po niya ay, do you think there might be a surplus of construction workers once big projects like the North-South Commuter Railway projects finishes? Meron po bang isang gustong sumagot? Oo. Yes.
Hello, yan. So I was forcefully nominated. To answer that, what if the project finishes? I was in a meeting last May in the Philippine Contractors Association talking about a 30-year infrastructure plan that would surpass 5 presidents. So with that foresight of a 30-year infrastructure plan, and right now developing new wave cities from Batangas, Bulacan, Laguna, and to the outer reaches of Metro Manila, I think there will be more skills demand with this. It might be a new set of skills. That's why it is a very dynamic opportunity. You need to reskill again to cope up with the new demand. So with that 30 infrastructure plan for the Philippines that would surpass several presidents, I think it is a opportunity. Not only it's similar to the build, but stretches a much wider scope. So I think there will be a demand for construction workers. Yes, more demand and so lacking of skills. So the demand, the development is crucial to address this demand.
That wraps up our second panel of discussion. Maraming salamat po. Sana tuloy-tuloy ang trabaho para sa kabataan.